Hello, beautiful people. I'm Monica, and welcome to Energy Medicine with Monica. This is your space for learning, shifting your awareness to see how your emotions, your body, and your life work within the space of your energy systems. And each week we get together to shift what is ready to be transmuted. So basically, you take what you need and you leave the rest. We come together as a community to shift the consciousness or shift awareness for the whole. So often I hear people saying, this session felt like it was just for me. We're all connected. So without further ado, we are hopping in today's work. Excuse my background. It's a little chaotic. I'm doing a little bit of renovations in the house and in my office, and so it's a little chaotic back there. So some of my feminine chaos is now visible to the world. We are going into the brain today, specifically into the ventricles to, I guess, up the ante or to flip the script. So there's a new year coming up soon, and we got together to talk about some things, and one of the participants said, well, the new year's coming. I want to release. I want to let go. I want things to just flow with ease or be easy. And I just want to be done with it. And so it's not so much the words that you're using. So, not necessarily anything wrong with your words, but the space from which you're coming from really dictates, I don't really want to say outcomes, but really, if you're going to plant a seed in soil that's void of nutrients, and then want that seed to grow without taking a look at the soil or the environment of those intentions, then you're not really going to get the kind of outcome or the result that you want, right? So when farmers are tilling their soil, that's the first thing that they tend to before you even plant anything, before any intentions come in for the new year. Now we're a little bit early for New Year's intentions, and I will be doing a session for that. But we have the solstice on the 21st and Christmas, so the birth of Christ coming up on the 24th. So I know there's also Hanukkah happening and Kwanzaa and different celebrations that celebrate generosity, gratitude, being in service. So that's for this session. I'm going to focus on that. And we have the solstice coming up on the 21st, and I'm doing a special session on for the solstice actually tomorrow. So if you want to hop in and set those intentions or tune inward to the changing season and what that means for you in your life, please reach out. You can find my information online, or you can reach me through YouTube. Send me a note, and I'd be so happy to get that information to you. It's taking place tomorrow, a special solstice session where we'll come together and do some different work. But I could feel the energy of slowing down. And many, including myself, get mad as to why are things slowing down? Can it not be in constant growth? Now I'm going back to the soil where you have to till the soil first. Farmers take care of the soil before they plant their seeds, and you cannot force a plant to grow. You plant the seed and you hope for the best, and you tend to it every day. So you aim high, right? You don't know if that seed is going to bear fruit. You have no idea what's going to happen. That somehow you show up to your garden every day and then you take a look at the soil and you have no idea what's happening beneath the surface. You have no idea what's happening beneath the surface of that soil. You're like, is it dry? Maybe it needs a little fertilizer. Maybe it needs water. Maybe you need to trim some trees so it gets more sun. And this is the guessing game and a waiting game to see if the seed that you planted is going to sprout. And then if it doesn't bear fruit, You don't say, what's wrong with this seed? What's wrong? Say, I wonder what happened to the soil. So this is where we are. Today in this session, the soil, the brain of our body, is this is the CEO of our body. It sends out signals and mechanisms. I'm feeling really, really dizzy and woozy. And we're in the basal ganglia. This is a deep brain that has to do with various functions of the body. But in this sense, we're dumping from there, from the basal ganglia, the addiction to suffering. Now, it's very dramatic. Suffering can be very exciting, right? There's always a story to talk about while in suffering. And we get together in various groups and we talk about suffering and we put suffering on a pedestal and then go, oh, I'm so sorry for your suffering. Let me show you my suffering. And then the next person goes, yeah, but my suffering was even worse than your suffering. Suffering is suffering. If you stub your toe or you break your arm, it still hurts. And it's not meant to be put on a pedestal. That's not a high aim to epitomize or to put suffering on this pedestal to show something about yourself. Oh, look at my trauma. Look at my trauma. And this is how often, sometimes people even bond in relationships. It's called trauma bonding. Something terrible happens. For example, parent abuses a child, then feels terrible about it, and then runs in to give the child hugs and kisses to say, I'm so sorry, I'll never do it again, and does it again, and does it again, and does it again. And you've got this trauma bonding. We've got many people throughout the ages and in today's world that are bonding based on trauma. And there's an addiction to this trauma bond. I don't want any, it just makes me feel sick to the stomach. So we are dumping whew, that addiction to suffering out of the basal, from the basal ganglia. We've got to make sure that the ventricles are nice and clean, that the glymphatic system and the ventricles are moving cerebral fluid, the hydration, it's dumping from those dirty thoughts, those toxic behaviors that keep that soil of your garden of your life or that soil that it's toxic. It's very acidy almost. It's impossible for anything healthy to grow. And then you look at the garden of your life and say, oh, why isn't anything growing? Well, we're doing it now. We're shifting the pH of the thinking, that acid thinking, that toxic thinking that's stuck in the nooks and crannies of the deep brain. Now, you're not doing this consciously, okay? I'm more 98% or 99% sure that most people, now you can always give me a margin of error. I don't know the stats for sure. I'm using my intuition, but most people don't go around thinking, how can I mess this up royally for myself and those around me? How can I ever? I'm going to make the worst choice for myself that hurts me and hurts my family. And I'm going to do this on a consistent basis because that's what I want to do. Now, there are the small amount of people that are sociopaths or psychopaths or diagnosed narcissistic and personality disorders. That's another thing altogether. There is mental illness out there, and I'm not talking about that small amount of population. I'm talking about the majority here, where even the most of the people that come on to these sessions or listen to these sessions are not going around thinking, how can I make my life worse, and by extension, the life of my family worse? No, it's not what's going on. It's how can I make my life better? And by extension, how can I make the lives of others around me better? Well, this is what we're doing in this work, dumping those old habits of being addicted to suffering. Yes, there's trauma. Okay, yes, and it's not to minimize suffering, especially if there's physical pain. It's terrible. I was in horrendous pain for 4 to 5 years where I could hardly even walk. And I still somehow managed to take care of my life, take care of my children. I found ways. I helped myself. So this is bringing back that Christ consciousness of carrying your burden, bearing the burden of your life. It's not meant to be easy. Easy is a low aim. Okay, I've got this burden I need to carry, but I still can find generosity and gratitude and love. And somehow, I don't even know how, seems by magic, I got better. I got better. And now I don't suffer pain in my body. Knock on wood. The pain has eased. And I'm forever grateful. I'm grateful. So, out of the ventricles, we're doing a beautiful glymphatic drainage, cleansing that trauma drama of that's how you relate to others, that's how you relate to yourself, that's how you relate to your life. In the basal ganglia, dumping that addiction to suffering. And we got to bring in the limbic system, because through the limbic system, this is our emotional processing. So, most adults do not know how to parent themselves. Now I'm losing my voice here. Woof. We're looking, most adults look to their parents still to parent them and say where their parents went wrong in their life and what they should have done and how they could have done better. This is very childish. Grow up. Parent yourself. It is your responsibility now to parent yourself. Whew. So I'm a parent. I've got 4 children. I didn't always do the good thing. I didn't always do right by my kids. It's not meaning that I set out to hurt them on purpose. Now, this is extreme abuse put aside, extreme or abuse put aside. I didn't always do right by my kids. I take responsibility for that. And if my adult children come or my children come to talk to me, I take responsibility. I don't give excuses. I'm like, yeah, I did that. I'm sorry. I did that. You're right. And I'm sorry. But if the child comes to me and tells me what I should have done better, because they know better, then that's their thing to work through as an adult. Okay. So we're in this limbic processing center where most people do not know how to self-regulate. Now, the emotions pass through your body within 90 seconds. That's it. That they do their job 90 seconds. And if you're hooked with an emotion and you're hooked with thinking and all of these stories start coming up, there we go. Then that's your inclination. That's your little, ooh, there's a big burp there. That's your notification from your body mind that, oof, there's a wound there. There's something that's vying for your attention if you're still stuck in the same cyclical story over and over again. Ooh, now bringing in soul responsibility here. It's a little bit of a play on words. So, soul, the right atrium of your heart, that's where your soul lives, and soul, SOLE, yours alone, your responsibility alone to take action, to have and respond to whatever is happening within your body, whatever's happening within your emotions or your life. It's your sole responsibility, not placing blame or fault. So we're doing this emotional regulation through the limbic system and anchor it to the heart so we all grow up and we're not being run around by childishness of saying to the other person, you should do this for me, take care of me, fulfill me, make me happy. And that goes back into that trauma bonding. Oh, You make me feel so good. You make me. We're going to start to filter that out of the limbic brain. If you're triggered, reach out and I'd be happy to help. All right. This is bringing in, we're going into the eyes, the uh the optic nerve is coming in, the muscles of the eyes, even the ocular nook, I don't know, the eye holes is what I call them. That's my very technical term. These nooks of the eye where the eyes are held. And we're doing a coordination matrix to change the aim. Aim high. Aim high. To change your aim. Maybe your aim is low. Maybe you have a low aim. Maybe you don't even notice that your aim is low. Maybe you can discover for yourself, what is my aim? What is aim? What does aim actually mean? So these are all questions you can do for some self-inquiry, some self-discovery, and look at what you're looking at. If you're looking down, then you're not going to get very far, right? You aim high. So generosity, gratitude, being in service, community, helping others, being in service to others, being in service to self in a healthy way, selfish with a capital S, not self-serving. So if your aim is self-serving, then that's a low aim. You aim high. How do I serve for the greatest and highest, to be in service to God or whatever name you give it? Oneness, all that is, isness, universe, a collective, whatever name you want to use. I use God. So my aim is high. Oh, doesn't mean that it makes life easy, but it does somehow, for me, help to digest the burden of my life. Sometimes you have your own cross to bear. There we go. Are you going anywhere else? No, that's it, folks. I'm going to wish you a very Merry Christmas or holiday or Hanukkah or celebration. And may generosity and gratitude and love spill forth from you and touch all corners of your world.